Yo, what's up? It's Lord DNA, also known as DNA for sure, also known as Lord Homeboy. And I need you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and do all that good shit. But this video is about the song that I just released called My Dad. And I just wanted to break down a lot of the reasoning behind making it and the lyrics and shit like that, and clear some stuff up. First of all, I got the inspiration to make this song from an episode of George Lopez that I saw. I wake up at fucking like 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning every day for some fucking reason. And I saw this episode of George Lopez where Angie, his wife's dad, his wife's dad took him on a golfing trip. I mean, took him to a golfing game, and at the end, he finds out that he didn't really think of him as a son, and he was really using him to win against this dude he really wanted to beat for like years and years and years. And he says, George, he said it jokingly, but he said, how come nobody wants to be my dad? He didn't say it jokingly, but it was supposed to be a joke to the audience. That, and then I just binged to watch fucking Empire, and just the thing that Malik and Lucius were going through in the second season. So that I also made it for the people who feel like me, the younger people and the older people. Now, as far as me and my dad don't have issues right now, some stuff that I'm still just trying to get over, whatever, because I'm not very forgiving as a person. But a lot of this shit is not really present in my mind or things that I deal with all the time, sober. Anyway, but I called my dad and we talked about it. I got some answers and we cleared it up and shit. But first I started out with, why would you show me how it feels to grow up without a father? We're not the same, bro. It didn't make me stronger. Um, my dad grew up without his biological father, a part of his life, a part of his daily life. I know he lived with my grandmother a little bit of his life. I don't know how long he was there, how much they interacted or anything like that. And I think he said he only hugged his dad like once at the time that we were talking. I think I was like 17 or some shit like that. Um, it's not like I didn't know of my dad. I knew of my dad. He moved when I was like 5 or 6 or some shit to Atlanta. I visited him every summer, and he probably came up for like Christmas and shit like that. But it was hard, not kind of hard. It was hard. I did have some father figures here and there, but I didn't really look up to my sister's dad because how much him and my mom argued and they didn't fucking live together. Even though I knew him, he taught me how to like throw a football properly and took me to my first baseball game, and probably showed me how to dribble and some more like manly shit like that. But yeah, I didn't. My dad had a father figure. He had my step granddad, I guess you would call him. My grandma's husband, I think, was there most of his life. But I said, feeling like a day crescendo in your song's verse. Day crescendo is a music term that means when a part of a song gets quiet. So I guess you still feel like you did nothing wrong. How like I don't get apologies from my parents for doing things that they've done in the past, and maybe a verbal apology, the actual words "I'm sorry," "I apologize," doesn't always do it, so it doesn't really make sense. You grew to be a teacher teaching other people's kids. I hope their bullshit lives needed you more than I did. That always blew me. Like, a lot of people who are teachers want children or don't want their own children and want to give back. And I always found it funny. Like, he would go to these kids' houses and personally mentor them, made sure they had what they had emotionally or mentally or whatever, helped them with their homework and tutor them and shit, and just check up on them. And I didn't really have that, which is always strange to me. He even does it with my nephew. He fucking gets the attention that I've wanted and deserved as a child around his age, And that just like made me resent both of them actually a lot when I saw that. I can't look in the mirror or look at my body, and it was just like how my mom would say things like, "Oh, you have your dad's legs, you have runner's legs," and just I look like my fucking dad. So that on Father's Day, white kids asking me why my card says "mommy." That didn't really happen, but I did grow up in the suburbs where fucking everybody had two parents in the house or something like that. And it was hard. People always asking me. And, in the suburbs, in the super suburbs, there will always be like father daughter, I mean, father son picnics and shit like that. Father son cookouts and barbecues. And, I was, it really hit me one day when we were having like a father son barbecue and everybody was getting all excited and I actually cried in class. And I lied to my teacher and said that I was feeling sick and I had a fucking ear infection or whatever the fuck I said. But you had to find the things and think I didn't notice it. I asked you for help with college and you said you didn't owe me shit. My dad always had, that was another problem. My dad always had like Benzes and fucking, he had a Benz, a Mercedes. I mean, he had a Benz, a BMW, a Navigator, some little red car, and a motorcycle all at one time. And we usually didn't have what we needed before I was like in high school. Like utilities getting turned off, not enough food, whatever the case was. Um, I gotta move these headphones because if this dog chews my headphones, I'm gonna kill her. These are my studio headphones. But like, shit like that really pissed me off a lot. I loaned my dad $200 because he said he was gonna pay me back. He lied, and then I asked him for $200 when I was going into college when I was 18, and he said he didn't owe me shit and he wasn't gonna help me and whatever. He taught me how to ride a bike and I think how to skate and stuff. I don't know if he taught me how to skate because I knew he had skates and shit, but he did teach me how to ride a bike. He taught me a couple things that I can't really think of off top, like not to lie and shit. I don't know. Um, you taught me how to hate myself and how to fake my love. Now, when I moved to Georgia, we lived with my dad for the first maybe 4 to 6 months before my mom got her own house in Sandy Springs. And he wanted me to call him dad. I wasn't used to having him around. And calling him dad when I needed to get his attention, I would either say hey or just start talking. And he would pretend like he didn't hear me or he didn't know who I was talking to. And that pissed me off a lot. So I had to just get used to calling him dad. And he would say I love you, and it was always weird because I didn't really love him or I didn't love him to the point where I felt like I had to vocalize it. So that's what I was referring to. Mentoring other people's children, I guess you're trying to make it up. That's what I've always felt like he was trying to do, giving back instead of taking care of his own shit. Your karma might catch to you, but your son's still gonna hate his blood. That line is actually what's inspiring this video. I don't fucking hate my dad. It was points where I did hate my dad just for those little things that I saw people doing with their dads and shit that I knew I didn't learn because I didn't have my dad around and shit like that. You know how many times I tried to Google my last name. If it wasn't such a process, I promise right now I'd be a Thompson. That part's actually true, but I don't remember exactly the process of you being able to change your last name if you're not getting married, but there's a lot of paperwork, a couple fees that you have to do, every time you fill out an application or you try to, if you lose your social card or get an ID and, shit like that, applying for school, it's just fuck all of that. It didn't really matter that much to just pretend like I made up the last name history or some shit. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. The second verse, how come you didn't want to be my dad? How come you were doing good and we were doing bad? How come I didn't pray for you before I went to sleep? Oh, actually, when I was in fifth grade, we were supposed to write like a poem or something like that, or something about love. And I wrote like I love my mom and my dad, and I erased my dad, and I put like me or my sister or my grandparents or my friends or some shit, or put friends and family or some shit like that. But you could clearly see that it said and my dad, and I erased it and wrote something else. And my fucking teachers don't know how to mind their fucking business because they're fucking women. And that teacher was white from Texas, Miss Miss McKee. When I went to fucking Chestnut, and she told my dad about it, and he came to my school, and he was just, "What's this about, son?" And I was just like, "What the fuck does it even matter? What the fuck does it even matter?" And we had a good little talk about that. I didn't get in trouble or anything. I had to Google how to shave. Um, that's not the next. That's not the next line. I had to Google how to shave, and it led to research on why you ran. That is obvious. You know, I did have to look up a lot of stuff like that and ask my friends and shit like that. I didn't think that, like, I didn't want to ask my mom how to shave, and I tried to practice on my arm, and arms and legs are much different than shaving your motherfucking face, and I had to find that out the hard way. I probably didn't actually Google how to shave. I don't remember. My mom bought me some fucking shaving kit when I was like fucking 6 or 7, like a little ass kid. It was a Spider-Man shaving kit, and I had a little plastic razor, and it wasn't, it couldn't cut you. But actually, my little sister's dad, Robert, showed me how to use it, which was awesome. That happened actually when I started to remember that. Um, why didn't you care if I grew up and acted like a bitch or statistic or acted super feminine? And that's self-explanatory. Like, why weren't you there to make sure that I was not a fucking hoodlum and all that other shit? That's what I just always thought. But just to clear it up, I did make it. I made this song for my fans, for my viewers, for my supporters, for those who can identify with this. I don't put out a lot of real songs, and that's what I was just thinking about. Like, but I don't put out any raw, real songs that really tell my story. I just put out all these fun, imaginative, imagination songs, fantasy and philosophy. That's the philosophy side, not so much the fantasy side. And that's why I named my mixtape Fantasy and Philosophy, because it's either going to be the real shit, something that I think about, the philosophy, obviously, or, the imagination doesn't have too much depth to it. It's pretty shallow lyrics. So, yeah, I put this song out. I don't apologize for it. I really don't want my dad to hear this song. I'd rather him watch this video also with it. I didn't really think about that because I tagged a lot of my family members in it. But probably shouldn't have done that if I didn't want him to hear this song eventually. But hopefully he'll watch this video. If not, he probably knows if I don't tell him, he gonna know that's not how I feel. But anyway, I really hope you enjoy it. It's called My Dad. It's the video under this video. So go bump it. The quality, the levels are off. I'm gonna fix it up before I release the whole tape. This is not my single. I really think I killed it. If you listen to this fucking the words shit, of course I killed it because it's me. But it's not super lyrical. It's pretty straightforward, and there's only fucking one metaphor in it, and it's more of a simile. It's a simile. But anyways, it's DNA for sure. Lord DNA, Lord Homeboy. Like this video, subscribe, listen to the tape, Fantasy and Philosophy 3, Illuminati Dope, dropping real soon. I don't have a date on it. Anyway, that's it. Peace.